Hey, what's up? My name is Ange. Welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we are going to be going over some of my summer book recommendations as well as my summer TBR. Every year I make this video. Every year I talk about my recommendations, what my TBR is going to be, that sort of thing, again and again. I don't even know how many times I've taken my own advice and read the books that I put on my summer TBR, but I swear, this year is the year of getting through my TBR. I have to stop buying books. I have to read what I have physically as well as on Kindle Unlimited because that's the way I'm going to allow myself to cheat. However, I have a lot of physical books here that have sat on my TBR cart. I'm staring at it down. It's looking at me right now. So many right here that I have to read instead of buying more, but we have a lot. I have to start this video off with, of course, like I do every year, recommending The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. If you have not read that yet, I don't know why. If you have not read it, have you seen the show at least? Because the show. Season 3 is coming out, and Season 3 is It's It for Conrad Gurley's. Hi, Conrad Gurley. Love him. Anyway, this is a trilogy. It's like a coming-of-age story about Belly Conklin, who spends her summers at her mom's best friend's beach house, and there she spends the summers with her brother, the two moms, because it's only like the moms things. The dads never go, and Susanna, her mom's best friends, her two sons, Conrad and Jeremiah. So obviously they've known each other for years. Their moms were best friends in college, but when Belly turns 16, both of the boys start to look at her differently. It's a lot of back and forth, which brother to choose. It's YA. Again, if you haven't read it, I'd be actually shocked, but I feel like I have to recommend it over and over and over again. It is one of those things that I do reread them every single year. So if you don't, you should. The next technically author that I'm going to recommend, not really like a book, but I am going to go through some of my favorites, is anything, literally anything by Ellen Hildebrand. That woman is the queen of summer romances, but I'm going to go through a few of my favorites. We're going to start off with 28 Summers. This one is about Mallory and Jake, who have one weekend together a year, and for over the course of 28 years, and that's where they just leave all of their responsibilities behind, their families, everything that they're doing, and they come together and they're at Mallory's house in Nantucket. It's inspired by Same Time Next Year. This was actually the first book that I ever read by Ellen Hildebrand. I read this as a book club read. I believe it was actually maybe her first or second book club read, and this one was insane. I think about this book all the time. I honestly want to reread it. It also now has, what is it? The Sixth Wedding is like a little novella that came after it. So that one was super interesting. I loved how the chapters were set up. Like, the chapters all started with like what happened that year, like a little snippet. And it was really interesting to see, like, as real life things were going on, like that was included in the book. It was really, really interesting. And I love Ellen Hildebrand's writing, so I will recommend her over and over and over again. So the same goes for The Hotel Nantucket, also by Ellen Hildebrand. I absolutely love this book. I recommend this book to everybody. And it is about Lisbeth Keaton, who is recently going through a breakup, and then this newly renovated hotel that just got bought is looking for people to come work there, so she goes to be the general manager. It is a hotel that everyone is saying is haunted, and then there's also this social media influencer who nobody has any idea who they are, who goes to hotels and gives them one, or technically I'm sure you could get 0 out of 5 keys, like hotel keys. Super clever, gotta tell you that, gotta give it to her. And they are trying to get like the very first 5 key review, and it's just, it follows a bunch of different people in the hotel, and I thought that it was so interesting. I think about this book all the time. I want to reread this one again. That was one of the best books that I have ever read in my entire life. I loved all of the characters, I loved the storyline, the ending, who it actually ended up being. It was really, really good. The last book that I'm going to recommend by Ellen Hildebrand is The 5-Star Weekend. I also absolutely love this book. Let's see how many times that I can say that in one video. This one is about a food blogger named Hollis Shaw, who runs this very famous food blog, and after something tragic happens, she returns back to her roots to kind of have a weekend getaway with friends from all stages of her life, and it's really interesting to see all the different people she was at one point. The concept of the 5-star weekend and having somebody from each phase of your life is really interesting to see here. Like, it was definitely interesting to see how they all interact with each other. I really enjoyed this one. It follows all the different women, so obviously even though it's centered around the main food blogger Hollis, it does showcase all different women and what they struggle with. So I thought that that was really interesting, like following different storylines without being like pulled in so many different directions because there are so many characters. I have to say that is something that Ellen Hildebrand does so well, because sometimes when you read books and there's so much going on, you get overwhelmed and it doesn't stay true to like the plot line. Ellen Hildebrand is, again, the queen of summer romances, but also the queen of giving you a lot without you getting confused. The next book that I want to recommend is The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. I read this a really long time ago. I think about it a lot. It's super cute. It does deal with loss and grief, but I loved the idea of the family that they have there, and the family dynamic was really fun. So it's 18-year-old Meredith. She returns to Martha's Vineyard for a wedding, a year and a half after the death of her sister. So it does deal with death and grief and her grief journey. To honor her sister, the family plays a game of assassin with water guns, which I thought was really, really fun. I liked that it was like, I don't know if anybody else has that, but around here we have a thing called Senior Assassin, where the seniors in the high school will run around and play Senior Assassin. So it reminded me a lot of like that small town kind of thing. I thought it was super interesting. She ends up teaming up with the groomsman's brother. I think one of the groomsman's brother or something like that. Wait, a groomsman's stepbrother, sorry. And they develop feelings for each other, obviously, and then a lot is revealed. I was really shocked and kind of still thinking about the connection there, but it was a really good read and I truly enjoyed it, so I would recommend it to more of like a younger crowd, because I think that they do mention something but they don't go into depth of it, so I think it's technically still a YA book. Two more books that are by the same author, and that's by Tessa Bailey. It is Hook, Line, and Sinker, and It Happened One Summer. I believe It Happened One Summer is the first book. That one, it's a rom-com. These are the first books that I believe I read from Tessa Bailey, and they had me hooked immediately. So starting off with It Happened One Summer, it's about Piper, who like, she's a really wealthy woman who like lives in LA, and then she was exiled to, where is it, Westport? Yeah, Westport, Washington, by her stepfather. There she finds Brendan, who's a local fisherman, who's like this really gruff man and can see like how out of place she is. It's like a enemies to lovers, not really enemies. Like, he just like didn't really like her, and he is like so not her type. I thought that it was so cute. I loved him, adorable. And then you jump on over to Piper's sister's book, which is Hook, Line, and Sinker. It's Hannah. She's more of like the laid back, like she's rich as well, but she's like a lot more chill than Piper is. Hannah and Fox, I believe that they become friends. It's been a while since I read this. They became friends because of Piper and Brendan. So that's why they knew each other. So when Hannah returns back, they end up getting super, super close again. And Fox realizes that he has like feelings for her, and he's not just like the playboy guy anymore. And that was really interesting because I love a good friends to lovers, so highly recommend. The next book that I want to recommend is One Italian Summer by Rebecca Searle. This was also another book club read. My friends and I all love this book. We thought it was really interesting. It was a quick read. It is something that deals with grief and loss, so just pay attention to that if you're going to pick it up. It's about Katie, who's a 30-year-old woman who is really struggling with the fact that she just lost her mother. She ends up going to Italy on a trip that her and her mother had planned, and then you have some sort of time warp thing where she ends up actually running into her mom, but her mom is not her mom yet, and she gets to spend time with like the younger Carol, her mother, and it was super, super interesting. It was confusing, and I didn't really love that aspect of it. Like, I wish that it was done a little differently, like these people were able to tell stories and we got more of like a flashback thing, but I thought that it was really interesting that Katie was actually able to spend time with Carol, her mother, so that was pretty cool if you're looking for something a little bit different, but it was all around like a really good book. Major, obviously, summer vibes. The last book that I have to recommend, and this will be a surprising one because I know this is a really unpopular opinion, and although I rated the books high in the past, I am just not a super big Emily Henry fan. I don't know what it is, I just don't love them. However, Happy Place by Emily Henry is one of the best books by her that I have ever read. I absolutely love that one. So Happy Place is about Harriet and Wynne, who are a couple that broke up 5 months ago, but nobody knows that they broke up. When they have their annual vacation in Maine, right before I believe that the house was about to sell, they decide to like have this last summer trip, like annual tradition thing, and pretend that they're still together for the sake of their friends, because it's going to be the last one that they all have, and they end up obviously rekindling their relationship, going through their struggles and working it out. I love the friend dynamic that they have, like having a really big close group of friends like that where everyone's couples and everyone's friends. Like, it was great. So I really did enjoy reading that, and that's a very high, like, amazing recommendation. I think I've put a lot of those books in my recommendations in the past, but what can I say? I stick to what I like, and that is what it is. Hey, at least you know I'll still recommend them, so clearly there has to be something good about it. But let's get into the books that I want to read this summer. Starting off with Ashley Poston's The 7-Year Slip. I believe this one is set in the summer. It gives me summer vibes with the colors. I don't know. Never picked it up a while ago, and then I never ended up reading it, but I know that it's really good. So this one says, same place, different time. Sometimes the worst day of your life happens, and you have to figure out how to live after it. For Clementine West, that means burying her head in her work as a book publicist, being practical, and forgetting the silly things her beloved Aunt Analia taught her, like living wide and chasing the moon. Clementine would rather stay grounded and keep her heart safe. For the last 6 months, she's done just that. But when she moves into her late aunt's apartment and finds a strange man standing in the kitchen, a man with kind eyes, a southern drawl, and a taste for lemon pies, her well-laid plans begin to fall apart, because he's the type of man who, before it all, she would have fallen head over heels for, and she still might. Except he exists in the past, 7 years in the past to be exact, and she, quite literally, lives 7 years in the future. Her aunt always said the apartment was a pinch in time, a place where moments blended like watercolors. She also said that love is never a matter of time, but a matter of timing. And Clementine fears she may be 7 years too late. It's giving me summer vibes because of the cover. Like I said, I heard that it is set in the summer season. So this is very, very high up on the priority list for summer of 2025. The next book that I want to read, but first I really want to peel off this sticker, because like, how has it been on my cart for so long and this sticker has still existed? It's not one of the stickers that just peels off. It just ripped onto the book. Send help. Oh no. Oh no. This is tragic. Oh, this is tragic. Oh my god. This is so tragic. Oh my god, don't look at the cover. Anyway, this book is This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. I read Every Summer After when it came out. I believe One Golden Summer just came out. Let me look it up. I'm gonna cover this because this is horrific. I read Every Summer After when it came out. Then you have Meet Me at the Lake, which I also read. Then this came out last summer, last May to be precise, and I never read it. And then One Golden Summer just came out, which I haven't read, which I also should put on here. But let's stick to one at a time. This is This Summer Will Be Different, again, by Carly Fortune. Don't look up here. It says, this summer they'll keep their promise. This summer they won't give in to temptation. This summer will be different. Lucy is the tourist vacationing at a beach house on Prince Edward Island. Felix is the local who shows her a very good time. The only problem, Lucy doesn't know he's her best friend's younger brother. Lucy and Felix's chemistry is unreal, but the list of reasons why they need to stay away from each other is long, and they vow to never repeat that electric night. It's easier said than done. Each year, Lucy escapes to PEI, so Prince Edward Island, for a big breath of coastal air, fresh oysters, and a crisp vino verde with her best friend Bridget. Every visit begins with a long walk on the beach beneath soaring red cliffs and a golden sun. And every visit, Lucy promises herself she won't wind up in Felix's bed again. If Lucy can't help being drawn to Felix, at least she's always kept her heart out of it. When Bridget suddenly flees Toronto a week before her wedding, Lucy drops everything to follow her to the island. Her mission is to help Bridget through her crisis and resist the one man she's never been able to. But Felix's sparkling eyes and flirty quips have been replaced with something new, and Lucy's beginning to wonder just how safe her heart truly is. I haven't heard much about this book, if you want my honest opinion. I don't think that anybody that I really discuss books with have read it, but the minute that I peel this off and finish the video, I'm gonna go read some non-spoiler reviews about it, and then probably go purchase One Golden Summer, even though I don't need to buy not one more book. Not one more, please. No. Someone take my card away from me. The next book that I want to read is Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. Amazing author. Also, I have a thing, right? Why do they put these things on the cover? Like this, another sticker. Wow, I'm really bad at this. Anyway, this is Abby Jimenez's newest release. I am seeing a lot of mixed emotions about this, that people are saying like it's not her best, but then a lot of people saying, like, this is the best book I've ever read by her. So we'll see what I end up thinking. But this book says, they met, they fought, then they fell hard. There might be no such thing as a perfect guy, but Xavier Rush comes disastrously close. A gorgeous veterinarian giving Greek god vibes, all while cuddling a tiny kitten, immediately yes. That is, until Xavier opens his mouth and proves that even sculpted gods can say the absolute wrong thing. Of course, there's nothing Samantha loves more than proving an a-hole wrong. Unless, of course, he can admit he made a mistake. But after one incredible and seemingly endless date, possibly the best in living history, Samantha is forced to admit the truth, that her family is in crisis and any kind of relationship would be impossible. Samantha begs Xavier to forget her, to remember their night together as a perfect moment, as crushing as that may be. Only no amount of distance or time is nearly enough to forget that something between them. Is that supposed to say that there's something between them? Only no amount of distance or time is nearly enough to forget that something between them. Oh, that's something between them. Okay, sorry, I had to put some emphasis on it. And the only thing better than one single perfect memory is to make a life, and even a love, worth remembering. I'm really excited for this one. I feel like this is going to be adorable. I love that Abby Jimenez always has, like, an animal somewhere on the cover. I think that that's so cute. And also, this cover is absolutely beautiful, and it gives me major, major boardwalk summer vibes. Like, so cute. So cute, so excited. I'm ending the video off with 3 books by the queen herself, Ellen Hildebrand. The 3 books that have been on my TBR cart, so I'm sure that there will be more. However, these are the ones that I'm going to prioritize because they've been sitting on the cart. Starting off with The Rumor by Ellen Hildebrand. If you look at this, it's a little beat up. It's got a sticker on it. I ended up getting this one from my neighbor was getting rid of a whole bunch of books, and I was like, I'll take that one, please. So this is The Rumor by Ellen Hildebrand. And this one says, Madeline King and Grace Pansick are best friends and the envy of Nantucket for their perfect marriages, their beautiful kids, their Saturday night double dates with their devoted husbands. But this summer, something's changed, and if there's anything Nantucket likes better than cocktails on the beach at sunset, it's a good rumor. And rumor has it that Madeline, a novelist, is battling writer's block with a deadline looming, bills piling up, and blank pages driving her to desperation and a desperately bad decision. That Grace, hard at work to transform her backyard into a garden paradise, has been collaborating a bit more closely than necessary with her ruggedly handsome landscape architect. That Grace's husband, successful island real estate developer Fast Eddie Pansick, has embarked on quite an unusual side project, and that storybook romance between Madeline's son Brick and Grace's daughter Allegra is on the rocks heading for disaster. As the gossip escalates and they face the possible loss of the happy lives they've worked so hard to create, Grace and Madeline tried mightily to set the record straight. The truth might be even worse than rumor has it. I love that I recognize some of the names in here from other books, which is super interesting. I love that they're all like, I think all of them, or a good portion of them, like they're all set around each other. Like I feel like they pop up back and forth in a couple of different books. I definitely at least remember the name Fast Eddie from somewhere, so that's interesting. This is high up on the list. I think that this is going to be really interesting. I'm going to have an Ellen Hildebrand summer. Okay, next, we're going to be really trying to read The Perfect Couple by Ellen Hildebrand. I know that the movie, I think it's a TV show, just came out. Did not watch it because I wanted to read the book first. This one says they're the perfect couple, about to have the perfect wedding, until a shocking discovery reveals that nothing is ever as good as it seems. It's Nantucket wedding season, also known as summer. The sight of a bride racing down Main Street is as common as the sun setting at Nantucket Beach. The Otis Winbury wedding promises to be an event to remember. The groom's wealthy parents have spared no expense to host a lavish ceremony at their oceanfront estate, but it's going to be memorable for all the wrong reasons after tragedy strikes. The maid of honor is discovered dead in Nantucket Harbor just hours before the ceremony, and everyone in the wedding party is suddenly a suspect. As Chief of Police Ed Capenash, I remember his name as well, interviews the bride, the groom's famous mystery novelist mother, and even a member of his own family, he discovers that every wedding is a minefield and no couple is perfect. This one's going to be really good too. I'm excited for that one. And finally, the last book that is definitely on my summer TBR, at least my physical one, is The Island by Ellen Hildebrand. This one says, sisters, lovers, and secrets, this island isn't big enough to contain them all. Birdie Cousins has thrown herself into the details of her daughter Chess's lavish wedding, from the floating dance floor in her suburban backyard pond to the color of the cocktail napkins. A woman who prides herself on preparing for every possibility, Birdie could never have predicted the late-night phone call from Chess, abruptly announcing that the engagement is off. It's only the first hint of what will be a summer of upheavals and revelations. With Chess in a tailspin of despair, Birdie enlists the help of her younger daughter, Tate, and her own sister, India. Soon, all four are headed for the beautiful rustic Tuckernuck Island off the coast of Nantucket, where their family has summered for generations. No phones, no television, no grocery store. A place without distractions where they can escape their troubles. But throw sisters, daughters, and their secrets onto a remote island, and a peaceful vacation becomes much more. Truths are uncovered, old loves rekindled, and new loves forged. That one's going to be interesting, too. I think this is one of, like, her older ones. So, I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. We got a lot of books here. We got 3, 4, 5, 6 books that are going to be on the Summer TBR, but we shall see. We have a couple months. I know I'm starting a little early. I'm posting this video in May. Technically, summer doesn't start until June 20th. I think it's June 20th is the first day of summer. However, I wanted to be prepared. I wanted some feedback on maybe some more summer romances that I should... Not even summer romances, summer books that I should add to my TBR. Leave some recommendations in the comments, please. I would highly, highly appreciate it. So, that brings this video to an end. Those were my recommendations, my TBR. Again, let me know any recommendations that you have. I would love to add more. Please give me an excuse to buy more books. Thanks. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all next time. Thanks. Bye.